the empty chair. When grief and faith collided at the table, it was Thanksgiving. The table was full turkey, mashed potatoes, laughter, and clinking glasses. But Sarah couldn't stop staring at the empty chair across from her. It had only been 7 months since her dad passed. He was the storyteller, the one who carved the turkey every single year, just a gap, a chair nobody dared to sit in, a place too full of memory to be filled by anyone else. She smiled when the nieces ran by. She helped clear the dishes, but inside it felt like grief had pulled a seat at the table and refused to leave. And maybe that's where Jesus steps in, because Jesus knew what it was to sit at a table full of tension, love, and soon, absence. Jesus gathered his disciples around a table in the upper room. The night before the cross, he broke the bread, poured the wine, looked them in the eye, and said, "One of you will betray me." Imagine the air, the silence, the grief that hadn't fully arrived but was already pressing in. Jesus wasn't avoiding sorrow. He was entering into it with eyes wide open. And even then, he served, he washed feet, he gave thanks. That night was more than a meal. It was a blueprint for how to carry love through loss. Loss comes in many forms. The death of a parent, spouse, or a friend, a child who no longer comes home, a divorce that split the tradition in half, a miscarriage. No one talks about a war overseas that claimed a cousin's seat, and it shows up most loudly at the table. Where routines, remember, where the plate is still set, where everyone laughs, and then glances at the gap. But Jesus never told us to hide our grief. When Lazarus died, even knowing he'd raise him again, Jesus wept. He stood in the pain with us, not above it. Grief isn't a sign of weak faith. It's a sign that love was real. Maybe you're Sarah. Maybe you've dressed up your sadness because the holidays shouldn't be about you. Maybe people say they're in a better place, but it still hurts here. Jesus knows. He's the Savior who sits beside us while the stuffing goes cold. The friend who doesn't rush the pain or skip to the resurrection. The comforter who whispers, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." That space, it's sacred. It reminds us that we loved well, that life is precious, that eternity matters, and it invites us not to erase the memory but to invite Jesus into it. Sometimes healing doesn't look like moving on. Sometimes it looks like leaving one extra seat for hope. Discussion questions: is there someone whose absence still echoes in your daily life? How have you handled grief, and where did you see God in it? What can Christian community do better to support those grieving during holidays or milestones? Next episode, the widow's offering. What Jesus sees when you feel like you have nothing left in a world that measures success in likes, wealth, and status. What does Jesus celebrate? Join us next time as we uncover what it means to give, serve, and live out of scarcity, and still be seen as rich in the kingdom of God.